Afternoon, everybody. To those of you who have already voted for YouTuber of the Month, thanks if you voted for me, and good luck if you voted for the other guys. If you haven't voted, there's a link below. Click on it. You'll get to a video. Type in the comments Highlander, and you'll vote for me. So if you'd like to do that, then thank you very much. YouTuber of the Month. I was a nominee on the last one for December, so please vote. Pickups. I bought stuff over the last period. Some of these games, they take so long to get here. I don't even know when I got them, and it doesn't really matter. Some of these games I got when I was thrifting with a Lactobacillus with Mark, and I just thought I'd show what I got. Essentially, if I call them pickups, you're going to assume that I bought these. If I didn't just buy them but had them for a long time, you'll never know. So I was thinking of not calling them pickups anymore. Just, I don't know, just showing you what I got, right? So here's the thing. Come on. We went out thrifting. I had to park the car. Normally, I drive my car to the to where Netgame is and to where the cash converters is. They're right next to each other, and I can park my car. Normally, I get there on a Friday, but a little earlier. But there's a mosque in the neighborhood, and on Fridays, they just basically a load of people going there, parking their cars. So, and they don't have like a proper parking place, so the entire neighborhood is blocked. So I couldn't park my car anywhere. I had to find a place to park. So normally I go to Netgame first and then to cash converters. Not that that matters, but that's just how I work. I do things the same way all the time. This time it was the other way around. I was hoping to find a Frisky Tom. If you don't know what a Frisky Tom is, Frisky Tom was a game by Bandai, which I cannot show because I don't have one. But a friend of mine, Iwan, used to have the Frisky Tom, which is a VFD game. One of those, I don't know what the V stands for, but fluorescent displays. What's the V? I don't know. It's not virtual. It's something fluorescent display. It's not LCD. It's lit, so you can play it in the dark, and it looks very crisp and it looks very colorful. And the game was called Frisky Tom. Pipes. There was a water tank and a girl in a naked girl in the bath, and the water is supposed to flow through the pipes. But there's rats who are eating the pipes away, and you have to repair the pipe and kill the rats so that the water can flow to the girl in the bathtub. Great game. That was just, if you look for it online, it's there's a couple of boxed versions of it, but they go for hundreds, and I'll never spend that kind of money. But you can always get lucky. So there's this website that does auctions. It's not eBay. This is like a real auction site that I go to, and they had a Frisky Tom. And it wasn't, these auctions take days to complete. So this still had 6 days on it, and someone had they bid up to €20 on it, which is far below the going rate, of course. But if people, if no one recognizes it for what it is, then you can get lucky. But on this auction site, it's the chances are small. So I sort of put in an auto bid for 30, and then I put it up to 32 and to 35 because I started doubting. And this auto bid only bids when it's necessary. And I kind of knew that at the nearing the end, which was on Thursday, 8:30 in the evening, the bids were going to end. The auction was going to end, and someone had outbid me, but the bid was up to 50. Still well below the price. Or I think I put it up to 50 because I'd just gone over my head. But clearly, as you come to the end of the auction, because I was thinking, I'll do the bid right at the end, but then the auction extends for 2 minutes to give the other party another chance. And obviously the other guy was also sitting there, or he'd put in another auto bid, which I didn't know was, I didn't know how high it was, of course. But you get into that typical auction trap where you go higher and higher and higher, and you go beyond your limit. So I'd set myself the limit of 50, but that limit was reached very quickly, and I think it went for 55 in the end, which 55 is still a good price. I don't know if I could have gotten it for that price, because that depends on what the other guy was willing to pay. He got it for a good price, by the way. 55 is a good price, but I missed out on that. So in Cash Converters, I was that's the way it works for me. I just want one to be there, and it doesn't like create a Frisky Tom there. Obviously, it didn't this time, but the fun is so much greater when it does. So, but it didn't appear. They wouldn't have that at Ned Game, and they didn't have it at any of the thrift stores that we went to. But this is the way that I will it into existence, which I'll kind of show later in this video. Anyway, I did find a Wipeout. I was very, still am very happy with the Wipeout collection, the Wipeout Omega collection on the PS4. I think it may even have this game on it, or a version of it. Anyway, this apparently is the release Wipeout, like the first Wipeout version, and for the PS1. And I couldn't let that sit there. The case was cracked, so I had to exchange a case, but it does have a manual, and look at how thick. And I never show manuals, but this is thick. It's a thick manual, and the game is complete. And I'm sort of making my Wipeout collection complete. I should sort of. I know that John Ferguson had a Wipeout collection, and when I saw that, I thought, I'm not going to do that, but I'm sort of doing that, and it was kind of lucky to run into this, because I have a few PSP ones. I have another PS1 version, so I've got a couple of these, and I haven't played it yet. I played Wipeout, but I haven't played this version yet. I did find another Wipeout later that day on the PS2, but the disc was scratched, and Mark said that's not going to play, and I thought it would, and it was very cheap, but I left it. So what I did pick up for the PS2 was HalfLife. It's not that I didn't have HalfLife. I have HalfLife. I'm looking at my shelf. I have HalfLife, but I have a version that doesn't have this cover. So I've always had HalfLife without the cover, and I've just discovered that this case is broken. So I'm gonna make two out of one, and I'm thinking the other one has the manual, so that I can finally have a complete version of HalfLife. So it's not like I'd never had HalfLife. But I thought it was special for me to show that I picked up a PS2 game. Most of the I think I have most of the PS2 games that I had, but I dumped a lot of them. I dumped a good chunk of them. I'm still trying to look. I alphabetized my games. Well, I can't see it. Anyway, Half-Life. Then, now, this, it's not completely unexpected, but kind of, because I picked this game up for $10, which is very, very cheap. I thought Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Day 1 edition. Not that means anything to me. Day 1 edition. What does that mean these days? Day 1 edition, like it's the edition that requires the the most patches to work. Anyway, I like stealth games. Honestly, I've never even played Deus Ex because I have the previous one. But I know it's a stealth game, and I've seen gameplay footage, and I really enjoy stealth games. And to see this for that little money, I was kind of amazed by by how cheap this game was. So, Deus Ex. Then also, I don't remember how I discovered this game, but it's a shooter. It's not new. Cinemare EX is like the new distribution of this game. It's on PS4. It's on like every platform you can imagine. I think it was published. Well, let's just give it 2013 or 14 or something. It was published for the first time quite a while ago, and it's a shooter. It's a horizontal shooter. It has I think they call it Diesel Punk, which is steampunk upgraded, I guess. So you fly some sort of an airplane with parallax scrolling backgrounds, and it's graphically very well done. Has very soothing, relaxing music, which I like. But this is on a load of platforms. Also on the Switch. I played this on Mark's Switch. I was very impressed actually with the Switch at that moment. It was one of those convincing moments that I thought maybe I should buy a Switch at one point. Not that I'll do so now because they're still pretty expensive. Cinemare, but this was on the PS4 as well, which I paid $15 for this, which is not a lot of money. I thought for a game like this with the cover, you know what this does? Like, it's not a typical cover. It's like an artsy cover. It doesn't say shooter. It says RPG, but it's not an RPG. It does have a story mode, all those shooters with a story mode, But I might do a gameplay. I might stream something from the PS4 of this game. I'm happy with this one. I'm happy to add this to my collection, as I'm happy with all the other games that I'm adding to my collection. And these two boys, Commodore 64 games by Cytronic. I bought the deluxe, the disc edition. So they come in these cases. There's Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker was made by John Darnell, who worked on a number of titles, including Dragon's Lair. He's like the designer, coder, and he apparently he had the code to this game, and he sort of revived it and rewrote it. And it's Sleepwalker. It's about it. The background is I'll just read it. Our hero is a security guard employed to look after the fairground. He really cares about his teddy bear friend. Tonight, however, when he checked on his little friend, security guard found that Teddy was missing. Teddy has gone sleepwalking and is in danger. And you have to guide him to his bed. And it's a puzzler. It's a platform puzzler. It starts out a little buggy. The first time I started it wouldn't play. Apparently, they added like a tutorial. And I can't start the game without going through the tutorials, even though the game says I can X out of it, but that doesn't work. But the game works fine. It's a little teddy and it's walking around. You have to find it first because the levels are split across several screens, and there are ramps and there are enemies and stuff. You have to find him. You have to lure him. You can pick him up, but you have to find out a way to get to him before time runs out, before your energy runs out. You can recharge your energy and and then finally get him to his bed. And when he's in his bed, the level ends. So mixed reactions. It's graphically a simple game, but it's tough. and some say, it's tough, but when you stick with it, it'll be rewarding. I'm not sure how I will feel about it. I did get stuck at some point. Like the third level was was already a challenge, but it's kind of a thinker. You have to really think. This is one of those games that you put down and think, how am I going to do this? And the next day you come back to it and do it. However, it doesn't have a save function, so every time you do this, you have to start over again. I am impressed though with Cytronic's covers. Again, you know, they look nice now. There's all kinds of stuff. There's like a little manual in here, a card, and there's some stickers in there, and it's very complete, and it's a very nice box. And this is like £14. I ordered this, and I sent a reminder in the form of another order, and they were shipped together. So Ken's, thank you very much. I know you're a busy guy probably. But I got these pretty quickly. XForce by Richard Bayless. A shooter where the enemies don't shoot you, but they fly in patterns around you. And it is a tough one, but it's very, very smooth. For the Commodore 64, there's pickups and power-ups, but there's also bombs that look like the pickups. So yeah, you have to be very careful with what you do, and you have to memorize. You have to memorize the patterns, because the enemies, they fly through the screen in, you know, they go like in square patterns, and if you don't know where they're coming from, then you're lost. So you have to try again. But again, very, very smooth, very, very nice. That typical graphical style that we've seen before. I think Iridium kind of. Your ship goes like this the whole time. It sort of reminds me of that. A very nice game. Again, very very happy to have this. And that leads me to another thing, because I read on in the Cytronic newsletter, sorry, that there are there's a new style of packaging coming. And I think Slipstream, but also Solus 2 are going to be the first games that are planned at least to be released in the new packaging. Like it's a cardboard box, much like Rescuing Orc was, and I don't know, was Bare Essentials a box? I don't know now. No, Bare Essentials was one of the. I got it in one of these. At least the box version, and it looks very, very sleek. Slipstream was made by demo coders, which is clearly visible in the menus and all the. They spend more time doing all the crap around the game than the actual game, which is an on-rail shooter. I won't be getting it because I don't think it was that interesting, even though it can be played as a twin-stick shooter. Or a co-op shooter even. But the box version is going to be £40. Now, I think that puts us back in the 80s, doesn't it? Where new games would sell for this kind of price. We're back at those price levels for indie games. I don't know, £40. I like the box very much, but £40, wow. It's more about the game still for me than the packaging. So even though I mean it's top notch, super quality with nice things inside, but I don't see myself paying £40 unless. Anyway, let me hear what you think about the new packaging and the prices. How much would you pay for homebrew games in a nice package? The last thing that I want to introduce to you, which I'm very happy to show you, my Commodore monitor. I have a 1085S monitor, and it was showing the flyback lines, which, as far as I know, but I'll have to ask the experts, is like a cap replacement thing. But I'm not comfortable working inside a monitor because it can seriously zap you. And knowing me, I'll do something wrong and kill myself. So I had to find a replacement, which I did. In the form of this boy. Oh, God. It's so fucking heavy. This guy. It's a... It's a model number 1701 Commodore monitor. I got it off an old guy for $50. It wasn't expensive at all. Because these are very hard to find in Europe. In Canada and the US, you can find them at any corner of the street. They're pretty rare over here. Don't know why. Because it's not like when the Commodore was popular, everyone had TV sitting around that they could connect it to. But apparently, people found ways of doing that, and they didn't invest in an extra monitor. But some people still did. I bought this off an older gentleman who was clearly well off by looking at the place where he lived in his house and everything. And he wasn't interested in a big amount. So I was very happy to pay that because these go for a lot of money over here. They're essentially JVC monitors, although there are some differences between the tube and the electronics, so I haven't opened it up yet. I think I will because I want to remove the dust out of it, and I can have a look at the state. But I probably won't be repairing anything. But just to clean it up, and I'll have a proper Commodore monitor. It has Chroma Luma and audio input, which I have a cable for already. And that is like a prelude to the it's pre S-Video standard stuff, because it's basically S-Video, but I think the chroma levels are higher than the actual standard eventually became. And I saw a video by someone who said, well, you can convert it by putting a little resistor on the chroma signal. So you can put it into an actual regular S-Video input. But this is Chroma Luma and audio. It has a speaker. It's color. It's PAL. And it's made in Japan. And I'm very happy with it. And the other monitor is going into storage. And this is going to be my new Commodore monitor. So I'm very happy to have it. But I already said that. So. That's it. I ordered another game. It was called Pain. I saw it. I can't show it because it's not here. I saw it at Eurocon. I thought, that's a nice game. And I saw it at Game Media in a store, which was on the way to the place where we were. Tried to pick it up. I couldn't because the guy wouldn't help me. I placed an order online because I actually went back to Eurocon, played the game, thought it was shit. I went home. Erwin said he played it. He said it was fun. I thought maybe I should buy it. So I went to Game Mania online, ordered the game. I had an error message, so I had to call Game Mania saying, I paid for the game, but there's no order in the system. They said there was an order, and they told me to wait. And lo and behold, a day later, there was an order in the system, which remained at the same state. So I called them again. I said, what's up with this order? Because now it's there, but it says that it's processing. They said, well, we had a game, but it wasn't up to our standards. Blah, 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 bullshit. We don't have it. Basically, you paid for something we don't have on stock. And they told me to wait again. And they said, oh, it'll be there this weekend, and we'll send it to you, and it'll be at your house on Tuesday, which is today. And I figured I'd make the video because the postman has been, I think, twice already today, and there's no game. So apparently I just threw my money away. So this Pain game is really a pain. It was a release game for the PS3. Basically, you fire human beings at scenes, and you have to try and hit as much as you can. It's a bit of a clunky control, but it's sort of fun, and I thought it was sort of a gimmick game, but now I've paid for it, and I don't. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna sell it, or I don't know, nail it to the wall or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to vote for YouTuber of the Month. I'm doing very well, but the others are as well. I think there's a lot of votes this month, so if you please click on the link and put my name in the comments. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.